Hey friends, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss life-changing content like this. If you're ready to transform your life, smash that like button and let's dive in. Life has a way of testing us. Sometimes it does so in subtle ways, whispering doubts into our ears. At other times it throws storms in our path so fierce that we feel the ground beneath us might crumble. I have lived both. I know what it feels like when people look at you and see only what you lack, when they dismiss your dreams because they cannot see your potential. I have felt the weight of those eyes, the silent judgment, and the overt criticism. But here is what I learned. The opinions of others are not your burden. They are their own. And the moment you stop carrying them, that is the moment your life begins to change. Most people spend their energy trying to please everyone around them, trying to fit into boxes created by society, by family, by friends, and by those who think they know better. They chase validation, they seek applause for their efforts before even giving themselves a chance to feel proud. But let me tell you a secret. The applause you seek from others will never arrive the way you imagine. You can work tirelessly, achieve extraordinary things, and yet someone, somewhere, will still question your worth. And that is perfectly fine. Because your validation does not come from others, it comes from within. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine waking up every day and asking yourself only one question. What can I do today to become a better version of myself? Imagine ignoring the gossip, the comparisons, and the judgments. Imagine focusing on your growth, on your dreams, and on your journey. The world will notice. But here is the most important part. It will notice when you least expect it. And the shock will come, not because you shouted your achievements from rooftops, but because your consistency, your dedication, and your transformation speak louder than words ever could. It is not about being better than someone else. It is about being better than the version of yourself that existed yesterday. The person you were last year, last month, last week, even yesterday, should be your benchmark. If you focus on that, your life becomes a continuous journey of improvement. Small steps every day, seemingly insignificant, add up to extraordinary change. People often underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think that transformation must be dramatic and immediate, but real growth is quiet. It is persistent. It is a daily commitment to yourself, even when the world doubts you. I remember a time in my life when people told me that I could not succeed. They said my dreams were too big, that my voice would never be heard, that my story was too painful for anyone to care about. And for a moment I listened. I felt fear, I felt doubt. But then I realized something crucial. I could either let fear dictate my life, or I could focus on myself, on my growth, on my abilities, and rise above the noise. The decision was mine. And that choice changed everything. When you decide to focus on yourself, you create a life that no one can predict. You begin to surprise not just others, but yourself. There is a unique joy in proving to yourself that you are capable, that you are resilient, that you can face challenges, setbacks, and heartbreaks and still rise. You develop a strength that is unshakable because it does not depend on anyone else's approval. And as you grow, as you shine, as you achieve, the world will take notice. The people who doubted you, who underestimated you, who laughed at your struggles, they will be shocked. Not because you sought to impress them, but because you dedicated yourself to your own life. This journey, however, requires patience. It requires discipline. It requires the courage to walk paths that others might not understand. You will face moments of loneliness. Moments when the world seems to be moving ahead while you feel stuck. But those moments are not setbacks, they are setups. They are the times when your inner strength is being forged, when your character is being built. The more you invest in yourself, the more your life begins to reflect your efforts. The more you grow, the more your presence becomes undeniable. One of the most beautiful aspects of focusing on yourself is that it shifts your energy from negativity to empowerment. When you stop worrying about what others think, you stop being distracted by envy, gossip, and comparisons. You stop wasting energy on things that do not serve your growth. Instead, you begin to cultivate skills, habits, and mindsets that make your life richer, fuller, and more meaningful. You become unstoppable because your focus is not scattered, it is precise, intentional, and unwavering. And let me remind you, focusing on yourself does not mean ignoring the world or being selfish. It means honoring your potential, respecting your time, and investing in your future. It means understanding that you are the architect of your own life. Every choice you make, every habit you form, every thought you nurture, it all contributes to the masterpiece of your existence. People will talk, people will doubt, and some may even try to discourage you. But when your life is aligned with your purpose, no opinion outside of yourself can shake you. So start today. No matter how small the step, take it. Invest in yourself. Read, learn, reflect, practice, and improve. Surround yourself with positivity. Speak kindly to yourself. Set boundaries. Prioritize your dreams. And above all, remember that your life is yours to shape. When you commit to that, when you focus on yourself, you will shock the world, not by seeking attention, but by becoming the person you were always meant to be. When you focus on yourself, you start to notice a shift in your perspective. The noise around you becomes background static, and your mind begins to filter what matters and what does not. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. You stop feeling the pressure of timelines that society sets. Instead, you begin to honor your pace, your rhythm, and your personal growth. This is when transformation begins, not the kind that comes from applause or recognition, but the kind that comes from inner alignment. True power is quiet, patient, and invisible at first, but it is undeniable once it surfaces. Many people fail to understand the importance of this inner focus. They chase quick wins, instant gratification, and the approval of others, hoping that success will fill the void within them. But the truth is, no external achievement can replace internal growth. You cannot rely on validation from others to sustain your confidence. If your foundation is built on the opinions of others, you will crumble the moment they withdraw their praise. The foundation must be yourself. Your skills, your discipline, your mindset, and your resilience. That is what makes you unshakable. I want you to imagine a life where your energy is no longer spent on worrying about what others think. Imagine waking up each day with clarity, knowing exactly what you want, why you want it, and how you will achieve it. Imagine devoting your time to cultivating your strengths rather than lamenting your weaknesses. Imagine taking responsibility for your happiness instead of expecting it from someone else. This is not selfishness, it is self-mastery. And self-mastery is the key to shocking everyone in the most profound way. The beauty of focusing on yourself is that you begin to attract the right opportunities. When your mind, body, and spirit are aligned, your presence becomes magnetic. People are drawn to your energy, your confidence, and your clarity. Doors that were once closed begin to open, not because you asked for attention, but because you became someone who radiates purpose. And when this happens, it surprises the people who doubted you. They never saw it coming because you were not performing for them. You were quietly building yourself into someone unstoppable. There will be challenges along the way. Life does not remove obstacles simply because you are determined to grow. In fact, it sometimes places them deliberately to test your commitment. You will face moments of doubt, moments when progress feels invisible, moments when giving up seems easier. But it is in these moments that your true character is revealed. You have a choice: succumb to fear or embrace the challenge and grow stronger. Every time you choose growth, you are adding another layer to your resilience. And that resilience will one day astonish everyone who ever underestimated you. I have learned that one of the most important aspects of focusing on yourself is learning to let go. Let go of toxic relationships, negative influences, and limiting beliefs. Let go of the idea that you must conform to expectations that are not yours. Let go of excuses, procrastination, and fear of failure. Holding on to these things only distracts you from your growth. When you release them, you make space for clarity, creativity, and transformation. This process is not easy, but it is necessary. The moment you let go of what no longer serves you, you take a giant step toward becoming your highest self. Another vital element of self-focus is cultivating patience. Many of us want instant results. We want to see progress immediately, to feel validated now. But life's most profound transformations take time. Growth cannot be rushed. It cannot be forced. It happens in quiet moments, in repeated small actions, in consistent effort. Each day that you dedicate to yourself adds momentum. Each habit you build, each thought you nurture, each skill you practice compounds over time. And one day, the cumulative effect of your dedication will shock the world. Not because you sought to impress, but because your results are undeniable. It is also crucial to develop self-compassion. As you focus on yourself, you will inevitably make mistakes, face setbacks, and experience failures. These are not signs of weakness, they are signs of progress. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. Celebrate small victories. Acknowledge your efforts. Encourage yourself when the road is tough. Self-compassion is not indulgence. It is fuel for resilience. It allows you to recover faster, learn deeper, and grow stronger. Focusing on yourself requires courage. Courage to stand alone, to walk your path even when no one else understands it. Courage to rise above criticism, judgment, and doubt. Courage to invest in your dreams even when the world tells you they are impossible. And here is the truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the determination to move forward despite fear. Every step you take in this direction adds to your strength. Every day you invest in yourself builds a momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. Finally, remember that focusing on yourself is a lifelong journey. It is not about achieving a single goal and then stopping. It is about continuous growth, self-discovery, and evolution. Your potential is limitless, and as long as you commit to your personal development, you will keep surprising not just the world, but yourself. The people who doubted you, who laughed at your dreams, who thought you would never rise, they will be shocked. Not because you sought to prove them wrong, but because you chose to focus on your life. And the results speak for themselves. One of the most powerful lessons I have learned in life is that focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is essential. So many people misunderstand this. They think that by prioritizing their growth, their dreams, and their happiness, they are neglecting others. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot inspire, support, or love others fully if you have not first invested in yourself. By committing to your personal growth, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable of making a meaningful impact on the world. When you focus on yourself, you begin to see patterns in your life that were invisible before. You notice the habits that hold you back, the people who drain your energy, and the beliefs that limit your potential. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Many people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to circumstances instead of consciously choosing their path. They wonder why progress feels slow or why their dreams seem distant. But once you turn your attention inward, once you study your own life with honesty and courage, everything begins to change. You gain clarity, and clarity leads to action. Action, however, is meaningless without consistency. One of the most common mistakes people make is starting strong, but fading quickly. They take a few steps toward growth, then get discouraged when the results are not immediate. The world will not applaud you for the first effort. It will notice only when you persist. When your commitment becomes visible in your daily choices, every small action compounds over time. Reading 1 page a day, practicing one skill, reflecting for 10 minutes each morning, all of these seemingly insignificant acts build momentum. And it is that momentum, quietly and steadily, that will shock everyone when your results become undeniable. Another truth I have learned is that focusing on yourself requires courage. To break free from societal expectations. We are taught from a young age to follow the rules, to conform, to seek approval. And while guidance is valuable, it often comes with invisible shackles. People around you may resist your growth. They may feel threatened, uncomfortable, or envious. Friends may distance themselves. Family members may criticize, and colleagues may try to undermine you. These reactions are not reflections of your worth. They are reflections of the fear, insecurity, and stagnation in others. Your job is not to change them. Your job is to stay committed to yourself. The journey of self-focus also teaches patience and resilience. Not every effort will yield immediate results. Some days, it will feel like nothing is happening, like your efforts are invisible, like the world is moving ahead while you are stuck. But growth is rarely visible from day to day. It is gradual, subtle, and cumulative. Like water carving through rock, the consistent effort of daily focus transforms you in ways you cannot always measure in the moment. And eventually, the transformation becomes so profound that it leaves everyone, your doubters, your critics, and even yourself, astonished. It is important to recognize that focusing on yourself does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means choosing the company and influences that align with your vision. Surround yourself with people who inspire, encourage, and challenge you to grow. Distance yourself from those who drain your energy or reinforce your fears. The people you spend the most time with shape your habits, your mindset, and your trajectory. If you want to shock the world, start by curating your inner circle. Let positivity, growth, and ambition surround you. This creates an environment where your focus can thrive and your efforts can multiply. Focusing on yourself also requires self-discipline. Discipline is not about restriction, it is about freedom. The freedom to pursue your dreams without distraction, the freedom to live life on your own terms. Every decision you make matters. How you spend your time, what you think about, what you prioritize, these choices are the building blocks of your future. People who appear to luck out often have one thing in common. They mastered the art of disciplined focus long before the results showed. They invested in themselves day after day without the need for validation or recognition. That same approach is available to you. There is an undeniable magic in focusing on yourself. It is not flashy, and it does not demand attention, but it transforms your life quietly and powerfully. You will notice your confidence growing, your mindset shifting, and your resilience strengthening. The world may initially resist, trying to pull you back into old patterns of comparison and distraction. But the more you stay committed, the more unshakable you become. And when the moment comes for your growth to shine, when your results speak louder than words, the shock is inevitable. It is not a spectacle designed to impress. It is a natural consequence of dedication. Finally, remember that focusing on yourself is a daily practice, not a destination. Each day is an opportunity to choose your growth, to nurture your mind and body, to refine your habits, and to align your life with your highest potential. There will be setbacks, distractions, and moments of doubt, but these are part of the journey. Embrace them, learn from them, let them strengthen your resolve rather than weaken it. Your dedication to yourself is a commitment to your future, a promise that no one else can make on your behalf. When you live your life with this level of focus, you become unstoppable. You become a force that cannot be ignored. And the shock? It is not about revenge or proving anyone wrong. It is simply the world witnessing the power of someone who chose themselves. Someone who invested in their own growth, and someone who refused to be defined by anyone else's expectations. That is the ultimate transformation, and that is what it means to truly focus on yourself and shock everyone. Focusing on yourself often requires making decisions that others may not understand. There will be moments when the people around you question your choices, your priorities, and even your ambitions. Some may see your dedication to personal growth as arrogance or selfishness. But this is precisely why self-focus is so powerful. It separates you from the crowd. It forces you to step into a space where your vision matters more than anyone else's opinion. And the more you commit to your path, the more clarity you gain about what truly serves your life and what does not. It is easy to get caught up in seeking approval. We are conditioned to look for praise, to fear judgment, and to base our self-worth on external validation. But the truth is, the opinions of others are fleeting. They are often influenced by their own insecurities, limitations, and experiences. Your focus should never be on pleasing others. Your focus should be on honoring yourself, your dreams, and your potential. When you dedicate yourself fully to your own growth, you create results that speak for themselves. Results that leave others astonished, not because you sought to impress them, but because you cultivated excellence in silence. One of the most remarkable things about focusing on yourself is the confidence it builds. Confidence is not born from achievements alone. It is born from self-awareness, self-discipline, and resilience. When you know that you are committed to your growth, that you are doing your best regardless of circumstances, confidence becomes a natural byproduct. You no longer fear criticism or judgment because you understand your own worth. And this confidence radiates outward, affecting every area of your life. People notice it. Opportunities gravitate toward it, and suddenly, the life you have been quietly building becomes visible to the world in a way that shocks everyone who underestimated you. Growth is never linear. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments when it feels as though progress has stopped. These moments are not signs of weakness, they are tests of your resilience. Focusing on yourself means learning to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. It means understanding that discomfort is a signal that you are expanding beyond your comfort zone. Every obstacle you overcome, every difficulty you face, strengthens you in ways that are invisible at first but powerful over time. These invisible victories are what prepare you to shock the world when your success becomes undeniable. Another key aspect of focusing on yourself is learning to embrace solitude. Society often paints being alone as a weakness, but in reality, it is a gift. Solitude allows you to reflect, to strategize, and to reconnect with your inner self. In the quiet moments away from distractions and noise, you discover what truly matters, what drives you, and what your next steps should be. People who have mastered themselves often spend more time in intentional solitude than in constant social interaction. It is in these moments of reflection that you gain clarity, and clarity leads to powerful, deliberate action that others will notice. It is also essential to cultivate gratitude as part of your self-focus. Gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance. It allows you to appreciate the journey rather than obsess over the destination. When you are grateful, even small victories feel significant, and setbacks feel like lessons rather than failures. Gratitude fuels resilience, positivity, and emotional strength. And when you combine self-focus with gratitude, you create a mindset that is unshakable, grounded, and magnetic. This is the kind of mindset that inevitably shocks people, not because it is loud or showy, but because it is powerful in its authenticity. As you focus on yourself, you begin to notice how much energy you have been wasting on comparisons. Comparing your journey to others is one of the most destructive habits you can adopt. Everyone has their path, their timing, and their challenges. When you stop comparing, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and distraction. You start to appreciate your progress, your unique journey, and your achievements. And this self-acceptance creates a calm confidence that others cannot ignore. You no longer chase validation. You live your life according to your purpose. And that is when the shock factor emerges naturally. Focusing on yourself also requires courage to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are declarations of your worth. They protect your time, energy, and focus. Saying no to distractions, toxic people, or unnecessary commitments is not selfish. It is an act of self-respect. When you honor your boundaries, you signal to the world that you value your growth above all else. People may resist, misunderstand, or even challenge your choices at first, but as your consistency and success become visible, your boundaries become respected, and your life becomes an example of disciplined self-focus. Finally, remember that focusing on yourself is about long-term vision, not short-term gratification. Growth does not happen overnight. It happens quietly, patiently, and deliberately. Every day you invest in your skills, habits, mindset, and health is a day that compounds into extraordinary results. And when the world finally sees the outcome of your dedication, it will be stunned, not because you sought recognition, but because your life became a testament to the power of focus, resilience, and self-belief. Focusing on yourself is not just about working hard. It's about working smart, intentionally, and with purpose. So many people spend their days reacting to life instead of designing it. They drift from one task to another, from one distraction to another, hoping that success will happen by chance. But success is not an accident. Transformation is not random. It is deliberate. Every decision you make, every habit you form, every action you take can either move you closer to your goals or pull you further away. The power lies in your focus, your ability to direct your energy to what truly matters. It is natural to fear change. When you begin to focus on yourself, when you decide to grow, the world around you may feel uncomfortable. People may question why you are no longer available in the same ways, why you are saying no, or why your priorities have shifted. Some may even try to discourage you, subtly or overtly. But here is the truth. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. You are not here to make everyone comfortable. You are here to honor your potential, to invest in your growth, and to live the life you were meant to live. When you embrace that truth, your focus becomes unshakable, and your results become inevitable. Discipline is one of the most critical aspects of self-focus. It is the bridge between goals and achievement, between dreams and reality. Discipline is what keeps you showing up when motivation fades, when enthusiasm wanes, and when results are invisible. Discipline is the quiet commitment you make to yourself every day, choosing to act even when you don't feel like it, choosing to invest in yourself even when the world seems indifferent. And over time, that disciplined focus compounds into a life that surprises everyone, even yourself.